One May evening, a girl was returning home from work. Instead of taking her usual route through the yard to get to her entrance, Diana decided to take a walk through the park right below their apartment windows. As she walked around the entire park, Diana approached the entrance from an unfamiliar direction, which seemed insignificant but played a crucial role. At that moment, Diana's husband was looking in the direction from which she would typically appear, and he was talking to someone on the phone. Diana wanted to sneak up quietly and surprise him, but instead, Arthur surprised her. "No, she won't be handling those papers. Do you think my wife doesn't trust me?" Arthur paused, listening to the response. Diana took a few steps back and hid behind a large bush so her husband wouldn't accidentally see her. Naturally, she heard that strange phrase and started to guess what it was about. "Mom, I'm not stupid. I know exactly what will happen if she registers the apartment in her name. Nothing good will come of it. They'll kick me out. Listen, stay calm. This arrangement suits me just as much as it does you. Sure, half the apartment is good, but what will I do with it in case of a divorce? So, once we finalize our plans, I'll tell Dinka that I'll handle the entire purchase process. We'll go together, and you'll become the sole owner. Just remember, Mom, that you'll have to write either a gift deed or a receipt for me, with all due respect." The respondent answered quickly this time. "Of course, I understand you don't need anything and this is all for me. I just want to be completely safe. Listen, let's talk tomorrow. Diana will be home soon." Arthur said goodbye to his mom. Diana had no idea what to do next. It was clear her husband wanted to secure their shared apartment for himself, which they were about to buy in a few days. For 2 years, Diana and Arthur had been renting an apartment and saving up for their own place, but they barely had enough for the down payment, so they planned to take out a mortgage. Recently, an aunt had passed away, leaving them an apartment. Her parents sold it and gave all the money to Diana to help her avoid debt and buy a home immediately. Adding the amount Diana and Arthur had saved, they had enough for a nice big apartment in the city center. Diana didn't think about the fact that most of the money was hers. She planned to buy it in marriage, splitting it 50-50. But Arthur took advantage of her trust during the apartment purchase. Arthur was absolutely right. Diana saw no problem in this. The apartment was being bought for both of them, so what difference did it make who handled the paperwork? It turned out there were other options. Diana quickly walked around the house from the other side and pretended she had just come home from work. Arthur greeted her joyfully, not suspecting anything. The next morning, when Arthur went for a run with his friend, Diana took the money from their small home safe, got in the car, and drove to her parents. There was no time to count and divide the money. "Sweetie, where are you?" Arthur called her. "You know, I just had this thought to buy the apartment today, right now. I couldn't wait and rushed over. The one we looked at together. If everything goes well, I might come back with the keys." Diana couldn't resist joking. Arthur's voice broke. "No, I mean, good job, but let's do this together, maybe? I just decided it was time to learn to take responsibility, but don't you think it's unfair to burden you with all this?" "No, honey, it's not hard for me at all." "Of course, it's not hard for you. We'll talk when I get back." Diana returned 4 hours later. She decided Arthur had waited long enough. Arthur greeted her at the door, disheveled, pale, with trembling hands. He clearly wanted to yell but couldn't show how nervous he was. "Don't worry, don't be afraid. I'll help you with everything," Diana said as she went to the kitchen. Arthur brightened up so much he almost danced. "Let me put the money back," he offered. "No need to worry about that. I already put the money away." Arthur didn't understand. Where? The second shock of the day was too much for Arthur. He sat down, even paler than 5 minutes ago. "At my mom's." "Are you out of your mind? I don't get it. What's the problem? Afraid your mom won't make it to the deal?" Diana's tone changed. The jokes were over. "How do you know?" Arthur sat at the edge of a stool, even paler than before. "Be sure, I always know everything. So don't even dream about a shared apartment. Now calm down, we'll take the documents and go file for divorce." Arthur didn't hear the word divorce, or rather, it wasn't what concerned him. "Fine, Diana, I admit, I wanted to secure myself, but the money in the safe wasn't just from your aunt's apartment sale. There was also our joint money, which means mine too." "Oh, that?" Diana took out 70,000 rubles from her bag. "Here's half of the money we saved together." After the divorce, Diana bought herself a new apartment in another part of the city. She thought the unpleasant situation was behind her. However, a few months later, as Diana was returning home from work, her ex-mother-in-law was waiting at the entrance. "You shameless woman," she attacked Diana. "How could you do this to my son? Stripped him of everything, and now you're hiding from me." Diana tried to stay calm. "I returned Arthur all his money, which we saved together. This is my share of the sale that my parents gave me. I have the right to dispose of it as I wish." "You greedy schemer," her ex-mother-in-law continued. "He has to live in a tiny apartment with me, and he's very uncomfortable. Listen, this is exclusively your problem with Arthur. I have nothing to do with it. I don't want any more scandals. If you continue like this, I'll call the police for harassment." Her ex-mother-in-law was about to retort, but Diana cut her off. "And you found out my address illegally? Don't you dare harass and insult me again. I've said everything." She turned decisively and walked towards the entrance, not giving her ex-mother-in-law a chance to pounce again. From then on, Diana never saw her ex-mother-in-law again. She realized it was better not to mess with Diana. Diana was able to start a new life, leaving behind quarrels and conflicts. Such is the story, dear friends. A chance saved Diana from ending up without a home. What do you think? Did Diana do the right thing? Write your comments and share this story with your friends. Maybe they'll find it interesting too. Thank you for watching, subscribe to my channel, and like the video. See you next time.